So in order to obtain the second position top view, we have taken the horizontal projections as well as vertical projections. So now I'll do the namings. Okay, so how to do the namings? So A1 is here and A1 dash is here. So the point where these two lines will intersect, so that point will be A1. So and B1 is here and B1 point we will get it here. So B1 and B1 dash. So similarly the C1 point. So C1 is here and C1 dash is this line. Those two lines will intersect at this point, so I call this point as C1. And D1 point is, we will get it here because D1 and D1 dash, the intersection of those two. Similarly I will get E1 as well as O1. Okay, since it is top view, we should not put dashes. So likewise we will get A, B, C, D and E. So that is the top face corners. This is B, this point will be C, so D and E, and this point I will call it as O. So once after doing the namings, so we have to go to the next step. So what is my next step after doing the namings? So we have to draw the boundary lines. So the boundary lines has to be always drawn with thick continuous lines. So how to identify the boundary lines is, so we need to take the scale, you place the scale in between two corners. Whether can we place between those two corners or not, so I can go with respect to this namings. So the naming chart is there here, so you can look at this chart. Okay, pentagonal prism, I need to consider this figure. So I can, if I take D1 and C1, so there will be a connection between D1 and C1. So I can place the scale between this D1 and C1. So if I place the scale between these two corners, so I will get all the remaining, I am getting all the remaining corners on the same side of the scale. So hence this line will be my boundary line. So in this way we need to draw all the boundary line. Next I will go with this C to C1. So as I solve more number of problems, so this will become easier to you in order to draw the boundary lines. So C to C1, so this is the another boundary line. Next is CB. So if I want, I can check that connection. So we will be having the lines that is there from B to C. There is a possibility of line between C and D. Okay. So if I place the scale between C and B, I will get all the remaining corners on the same side of the scale. So hence that is also a boundary line. So in this way, I will draw all the boundary lines. AB is also a boundary line. Next comes A to E. So sometimes you will think that A to A1 will be the boundary line. So whether we will check it whether it is a boundary line or not. If I place the scale between A to A1, okay, so there we will be having line from A to A1. So hence I placed the scale between A to A1. But see to that whether that will become your boundary line or not. It is not a boundary line because E point is above the scale and remaining corners are inside the scale. Hence it is not a boundary line. So that is how we have to confirm whether the line is a boundary line or not. So A is your boundary line. So E to E1, so that is again a boundary line. So if I draw all the boundary lines, so it forms a closed loop. So E1 to D1, so it is a boundary line. So in this way, if I construct all the boundary lines, so it forms a closed loop. So I have got the closed loop now. So once after drawing all the boundary lines, the next step is we need to identify the hidden corner. How to identify the hidden corner in this figure? In order to identify the hidden corner, I have to go to the front view. So if I see this object from the top, okay, the points which are nearer to the XY line in this figure, so second position, front view, the corners which are nearer to the XY line. So which are the corners that are near to the XY line here? B1 dash of A1 dash. So these two corners are nearest to the XY line. Okay, so hence I should consider those corners as my hidden corners. You place these hidden corners inside the brackets A1 and B1. Okay, so now with respect to these hidden corners, I need to draw the lines. So the lines that are starting from the hidden corners must be the hidden lines. Okay, so we know that, so from each corner we will be having three lines always because solids are three-dimensional objects. So with respect to point A1, which are those three lines? So let us see now with the help of this figure. So I will consider A1 as my hidden corner. Okay, so with respect to this point A1, I will be having a lines from A1 to B1, A1 to E1 and A1 to A. So right now how many lines do we have? We don't have a single line that is starting from A1. Okay, so hence I need to draw those three lines as dotted lines itself. So if any line comes on the boundary, you don't touch that boundary line, you keep it as the continuous lines itself. Okay, so since I don't have any lines right now with respect to this point A1, I should draw the lines which are starting from A1 as thick dotted lines. So these lines must be the hidden lines. A1 to E1 is one line. Next is A1 to A. So this line has to be a dotted line. So you draw it as dotted. Next, third line is A1 to B1. So this also becomes a dotted line, right? So this is the another dotted line. So next, so we have taken three lines starting from A1. So the work with this point A1 is over. Now we go to the another corner, hidden corner. Here we are getting two. In case of square prism, we have got only one. So this is the another second hidden corner what I got, B1. So with respect to this B1 again, I need to have three lines. So which are those three lines? B1 to A1, B1 to C1 and B1 to B. How many lines are there here right now? Only one line is there, that is B1 to A1. So remaining lines I need to draw it as dotted lines, because all those lines, that is B1 C1 and B1 to B, are coming inside the boundary. It is not coming on the boundary. If those lines comes on the boundary, so that will be visible as thick continuous line. So this is the third dotted line I will get. So B2, B1. Okay. So in this way I have drawn three lines from the hidden corner. So from point A1 I have drawn three lines, three dotted lines. From point B1 I have drawn three dotted lines because all three lines are coming inside the boundary. Okay. Next I will go to the remaining corners. I need to check the remaining corners. So whether there are three lines are there or not. So directly I can say that, so with respect to this point D, I don't have a single line starting from D. So how many lines should be there from point D? Again three lines. Which are those three lines? So before D I'll get C. So after D I'll get E, and D to D1. Okay, all those lines you need to draw it as thick continuous lines. You draw them as dark continuous lines. So that is D to C. So after D you'll get the alphabet as E. In that way also you can remember. So D, E, and finally since it is a prism, I will be having line from D to D1 always, the third line. So this is the figure that I will get. So these two corners are hidden corners. From the hidden corners we have got the hidden lines. So if I check the remaining corners, so once after completion we need to check the each and every corner for three lines. So if I go through all the corners, we are having three lines. So that is how we will say that we have drawn it correctly. So now the remaining points is the axis point. So you draw the axis line as thin chain line itself. So it is not visible even if you draw here. So from here it is visible as chain line. Okay. So this is how we need to construct the top view. So now second position is over. We have drawn the front view as well as top view. Okay. Inclination to HP is done. So now I need to go with the inclination with respect to VP. The third position I need to consider. So what is my third position that I am having here? So if you just go through this question, I am having it as condition with respect to VP. And what is the angle of inclination? So angle of inclination is 30 degrees. Okay. So in this case, we need to see what is inclined to VP at an angle of 30 degrees. So in this question, he is telling that one of its edges of the base is inclined to VP at 30 degrees. Okay. Which is that edge of the base that we need to consider? A1, B1. Okay. So we need to redraw the second position figure. So inclined at an angle of 30 degrees with respect to VP. So he is talking about this A1, B1 in the first position. So the length of A1, B1 in the first position and the length of A1, B1 in the second position, it remains same. Here also it is 25. If I check here, so here also I will get it as 25. Since there is no variation of the length, so we will not get any beta angle. So that is what I have written here. Since the length of the base edge does not changes from first position to second position, hence the given problem is not a beta angle. Okay. So directly we need to redraw the second position top view. So on this 30 degree line, inclination with respect to VP, I need to consider it as 30 degree line. So and on that 30 degree line, we need to place this resting edge, that is A1, B1. So what I'll do now, since the base is inclined, I'll take one parallel line with respect to your XY line. I'll take one parallel line like this. Why I'm taking parallel line is because, so if I redraw this figure, the redrawn figure should not touch your XY line. So in order to avoid that, I am taking the parallel line. So if it is possible to take with respect to the xy line inside, you can take the angle. So now with respect to this particular point, so this with respect to this parallel line, so place your protractor and you mark 30-degree point. So with respect to this 30-degree point, you construct one 30-degree line. So from this point I have taken, so hence you draw a thin line like this. So this line should be 30 degree. This is the angle of inclination with respect to VP. Okay. So now on this 30 degree line, what we need to place? We need to place the resting side, which is that A1 B1. So A1 B1 should get tilted to an angle of 30 degree. Right now it is perpendicular to VP. So in the third position, that will get tilted to an angle of 30 degrees with respect to VP. So hence you take the dimensions from A1 to B1. Take the distance from A1 to B1. You choose any one point. You choose the appropriate point and you've cut the arc. Okay. The point where it intersects, so that point we call it as B1. So I have taken the starting point as A1. You place it inside the bracket because it is hidden corner here and it will be hidden in the third position top view as well. Okay. So this point I call it as B1. So with the help of these two corners, I need to obtain all the remaining corners of the pentagon and I need to redraw this figure as it is. So let us redraw now. So what we have to do is, so we have to observe this figure carefully. If I observe this figure, so what happens is, so we will be having that A point exactly above this point A1 and we are having this B point exactly above this B1 point, right? So now what I need to do is, I will obtain this A and B now, okay, at the starting position. So how to obtain? So take your protractor, place your protractor along this 30-degree line and you mark 90-degree point. Okay. Next, with respect to this B1 also, you mark one more 90-degree point. So and you draw thin lines passing through this point A1. Okay. So next also you draw 90-degree line with respect to this point B1. On this perpendicular lines, I need to obtain the remaining corners. So sorry, that is A and B. So from point A1, you take the distance to A, place at A1 and cut an arc. So see if that arc should not touch your XY line and it should not go beyond your XY line as well. Next, with respect to point B1, you cut the another arc. So now I will get two corners, that is A, one point will be A and the other point will be B. Okay. So now I will obtain the remaining corners. So I will go with respect to this line now. So the line which is passing in between this A1, B1. So the point of intersection of this DD1 line, I call it as 1. So I will extend the line with respect to this point 1. So that line we need to consider it as 90-degree line. So I will obtain this point 1 now. Take the distance from 1 to A1. So please don't cut the arc sideways in order to obtain the remaining corners. So place at A1 and you cut the arc to obtain which point? This is point 1. With respect to this point 1, I will take my protractor and I will obtain the 90-degree point. Okay, 90 degrees. One more 90-degree line. So now with respect to this point 1 and the 90-degree point, you extend the line on either sides like this. Okay. So on this line, 90-degree line, I will obtain the remaining corners, that is D and D1 point I will get. So take the distance from 1 to D. Take the distance from 1 to D, place at 1 and you cut the arc above like this. Okay. Next you take the distance from 1 to D1. So 1 to D1, place at 1 and you cut the arc. So I have got two corners. So one point is D and the other point is D1. So now, so remaining corners are EC and E1C1. So this E1C1 and EC, so these corners are lying on same line. That is EC lying on same single line and E1C1 are there on same line. So if I need to draw these vertical lines, so with respect to this point 1, so that lies in between D1, I need to obtain this intersection point. So 1 is over, so second intersection point I call it as 2, so this point I call it as 3. Okay, so I'll take the distance from 1 to 2, place at 1 and you cut the arc below. So, okay, now take the distance from 1 to 3, place at 1 and you cut the arc. So which points you'll get? 2 as well as 3. So this corner I call it as 2 and this I call it as 3. Okay, so now with respect to this 2 and 3, I need to draw 90-degree lines. So place your protractor along this D1 at point 2 and you draw 90-degree. Construct a 90-degree point, and similarly with respect to this point 3 also you take 90 degrees. Okay, with respect to these 2 points I'll extend the lines on either sides. So redrawing should be done properly. So with respect to this point, second 90-degree point, that should pass through this point 3 and you draw the 90-degree line like this. So on these 90-degree lines, now I'll obtain this EC and E1C1. Take the distance from 3 to E. Okay, so it will be same from 3 to C as well. So you cut the arc on either sides. Always we need to cut the arc perpendicularly with respect to the points. So don't cut the arc from A1 to this point. So like this. Okay, so now I'll get the points, this point as E and this point as C. So here I'll get it as E1 and I'll get this point as C1. So only points that are missing is O1 and O. Take the distances from 1 to O1, so which will be there between D1 line. So place at 1 and you cut the arc. Next you take the distance from 1 to O. So take the distance from 1 to O, place at 1. So from where we have taken, place at the same point and you cut the arc. So I have got O1 also as well as O. So once after doing this much, you check, so around this point O I must have the top face corners, that is A, B, C, D and E. So around this point O1 I must have the corners, so that is A1, B1, C1 and D1 and E1. So and you join the lines as it is what you are having in the second position top view. So B1 to C1 is dotted line. First I'll draw the boundary line, so that will be easy for construction purpose. So you, as it is what you have done in the second position top view, you do the same here also. So here it is, you join this point. So from E to E1 it will be a horizontal line. So next is E to A, so that is also a boundary line. Next is A to B. A to B will be a boundary line again. So you draw it as thick continuous line. Next is B to C. So again B to C take it as continuous line, and C to C1. So this completes a closed loop. So those lines are boundary lines. Now you go with the hidden lines. So B1 to C1 I drew it already. So the next line is B1 to B, so that will also be a dotted line. Next is coming to this point A1. So again it will be a dotted line from A to A1, because A1 is your hidden corner. 2 lines are over with respect to that point A1. The third line is A1 to A1. So in this way I have drawn 3 lines from each corner. So next is you go with point D. So there are 3 lines starting from point D. All those 3 lines has to be thick continuous line, because that is not your hidden corner. So and you join this D to D1 also. Don't forget to draw this line. This should be drawn as thick continuous line, and you draw the axis as it is. Okay, this axis should be drawn as axis itself. Okay, so in this way I have to redraw this figure. So any extra lines are there, you erase them. In order to obtain the third position front view, I need to take the projections. So first I'll go with the horizontal projections because I'll get less number of lines compared to the vertical projections. So I'll take the projections from each and every corner here. Okay, I'll take the projections, horizontal projections with respect to this point D1. I'll take the projections like this. So similarly with respect to this point C1, C1 dash of E1 dash, sorry, this is not E1 dash, so this is C dash of E dash. Don't take the projections from the axis point, take the projections from B dash of E dash. So next comes the base corners, that is D1 dash, horizontal line. Next is C1 dash of E1 dash. So finally I am having this B1 dash of A1 dash on the X-plane itself. So now I'll go with the vertical projections. So let me take the projections from the top face, that is point starting from point A. So A to A dash. Where is A dash point? So these lines has to be vertical. So A dash line is here. So extend the line to that particular point. Next is B. So B, I am getting it here on the same line. So next point is C. So there is a slight variation. So with respect to this point C, so I'll get this C dash on this line, that is C dash. Next is D. So these lines has to be vertical lines. It must be exactly vertical. So this is D point. I take D dash. D dash is coming here. Next is E. E2, E dash. E dash is this line. I have written it as E1 dash. It is E dash actually. So this point, next, this completes the top face corners. So now I'll go with the base corners, that is A1. So A1 is there on the X line. So A1 to A1 dash. Next is B1. So B1 to B1 dash. Next comes the C1 point. So it is slightly this side. So you must take the projections carefully. C1 to C1 dash is this line. So I have extended till there. Next comes D1. D1 to D1 dash. D1 dash line is here. Finally I'll get E1. So E1 to E1 dash. E1 dash point, I'll get it here. Okay, now I'll do the namings accordingly. So this point is A1 dash. So here I'll get this point B1 dash. So C1 dash, we will get it so we are getting, where is C1? C1 is here. So this point is C1 dash. So D1, this point is D1 dash, and finally, so this is A1 dash. So this is how we need to do the naming. So next comes this top face corners, that is A dash point is here. This is B dash. This point is C dash. So D dash, and finally we are having E dash point. Okay. So once after doing the namings, we need to go with the boundary lines. So how to take the boundary lines? So as we have done in the second position top view, so in the same way we need to do it. So take the scale, place your scale in between two corners. So with respect to these points, this naming, I'll consider that. 1 second. So pentagonal prism, place the scale between A1 dash to E1 dash. I can place because I'll get the edge from A1 to A1. So this is a boundary line. So now I'll place the scale between A1 dash to B1 dash. So I'll get all the remaining corners on the same side of the scale. So hence that is also a boundary line. Next I'll place the scale between B1 dash to B dash. Okay. So here also I'll get all the remaining corners on the same side of the scale. So that is also a boundary line. Next comes this B dash to C dash. So this is a boundary line. Okay. Next is D dash to C dash. So here also I'll get all the corners, remaining corners below the scale itself. So hence that is a boundary line. Next comes D dash to E dash. So if I join all the boundary corners, it forms a closed loop. So next what I'll do, I'll place the scale between E dash to E1 dash. So and I'll get all the remaining corners on the same side of the scale. So in this way, I need to draw all the boundary lines as thick continuous lines. Next, after drawing all the boundary lines, I need to identify the hidden corners. So how to identify the hidden corners? So I need to consider the corners. I have to see this object from the front. So observer will be away from the XY line. The corner which are away from the XY line means that corners will be nearer to the XY line. So the nearest corners to the XY line are not visible to you. So how many lines we need to, how many corners we need to consider? So we need to consider the 3 nearest corners to the XY line and check whether you'll get those corners inside the boundary or not. First corner, so I'll place the scale on the XY line, I'll roll the scale downwards. So which point will appear first? A. So where this corner A, you are getting it in the front view. So this corner A, I am getting it inside the boundary. So hence I should consider this as my hidden corner and I will place this corner A dash inside the brackets. So next I will go down slowly. So which point will appear next, you will see. So the corner E is appearing next. So if I take this point E in the front view, E dash is coming on the boundary. Hence it is not a boundary corner, hidden corner. Sorry. So E dash is coming on the boundary line. Hence that is not a hidden corner. Okay. Next I will roll the scale slowly downwards. So next point that appears is B. So B is again, it is there on the boundary. It is also not an hidden corner. Okay. So in this way we need to check the 3 nearest corners to the XY line in this third position top view. So once after checking those 3 corners, so only one corner I have got it inside the boundary, that is A point. So now A will become your hidden corner. So with respect to this point A, I will be having A1 line, AB line and AE line. All those 3 lines, so I need to draw it as dotted lines because it is my hidden corner. So always the hidden line starts from hidden corner. So since I don't have a single line, so you draw all those 3 lines as thick dotted lines. So A dash to B dash. Next is A dash to A1 dash. So this has to be dotted. Okay. So now in this way we have drawn the hidden corners. So what is my next step after drawing the dotted lines with respect to this hidden corners is, so I need to consider this figure here again. So in this case I will be having 2 pentagonal faces. Among these 2 pentagonal faces, one is the top face and the other one is the base. Among these 2 faces, the face which is away from the XY line, so that is the base. The base with namings A1, B1, C1, D1, E1. This pentagonal face is away from the XY line, that is visible to this person who is standing away from the XY line. So this base is completely visible to him, so to the observer in the front view. So hence that should be drawn with thick continuous lines. So which are those? A1, B1, C1, D1 and E1. So that is the pentagonal face that is visible. So this should be drawn with thick continuous line. Okay. This has to be made dark. Once after drawing that base, so we need to check each and every corner for 3 lines. So there are lines that are missing from this C dash. Only 2 lines are there. Which is that missing line? C dash to C1 dash. You draw that as thick continuous line. So next again the line is missing from D dash to D1 dash. So this should be drawn as D1 dash. So no one should miss this. So what you people will do is, so once after taking the hidden lines, so you will forget the remaining lines. That should not happen. So always the lines will be missing with respect to the corners. We need to check each and every corner for 3 lines. That is compulsory. Okay. So now I have done with the front view. Only thing that is missing is your axis points. So take the projections. So already the projections I have taken. I have taken the projection, horizontal projection from O and as well as O1. So now I will take the vertical projections. So I will take the vertical projections with respect to O1 as well as with respect to O. So the point where it touches, so that point will be O dash, and here, so we will get it as O1 dash. So you join this O dash and O1 dash point as axis itself. Okay, that should be drawn as thin chain line. Okay. So this is how we need to solve the problem. So this completes the solution for problem number 5. Thank you.